Hey guys and girls, Poketin King here, back with another Flesh and Blood video. I'm sure you've been waiting, it's been a little while. We obviously did the Hunted opening. We've just come back from Prague yesterday, and it's been, what a weekend it was, honestly. Really, really great weekend. So props to LSS, the guys from LR Events, obviously Fabio, Ryan, Oliver, and then obviously the guys, the judges on hand, just everyone that was involved in it, all the vendors as well. The guys at PCG Heiner as well. PCG Europe was there, alongside Oliver from PCG UK. Fantastic stuff. Really, really great event, honestly. It was a lovely venue. Very big room. I had a great time. I would say, honestly, top 3 events, card game events I've been to, and I've probably been over 100 now. So what a great weekend. We're going to recap what happened over the weekend, my thoughts on the Hunted, and my thoughts going into 2025. And then there'll be some messages at the end of the video from a couple of, members of this game. We've got a nice little message from Federico Mazzetti, one of the probably most known artists in Flesh and Blood, as well as a couple of other collectors and players. And they're the messages that came after the 2024 end of year video I did. So if you haven't checked it out, there'll be a link in the description below. That was my recap of 2024 with a load of nice messages from a load of people that are part of this amazing game. So Prague, the Hunted World Premiere, fantastic event. The first time I've been to Prague, I didn't see too much of Prague other than the venue, but the venue was fantastic. Really easy to get to. It was like a 10-minute walk from the nearest metro station. And the metro, underground station's easy. Obviously, you can get Ubers and stuff and Bolts. Really good. Nice big venue. There was like a Costa there. There was a guy, a couple of guys out the backs cooking sausages and chicken and noodles and all other kind of things. I know if you're watching this and you went to the event, you're probably a little bit sick of sausage. That was what a lot of people were eating. But yeah, absolutely great. So I didn't do the world premiere because I had missed the cut-off for that, but I did do like 5 events. So I did the call-in, and I didn't make day 2, and then did a couple of the sealed events. I did the whole box event as well, which is great. So I just, I wanted to open as much as I can. I was vendoring as well, so I was vendoring. If you did go past the Righteous Gaming booth, I would have been there alongside, Tyler, who, runs it. And Transient and Kuba as well. So it was a pretty rock star team. Really, honestly, it was a fantastic wealth of knowledge and experience on that. And I think, we had, the best booth at the event. Obviously, all the vendors that were there were fantastic. There was a really good mix and variety. You had Mox in the Hole and fleshandbloodcards.com from the UK. And you had DC Gaming, One Collectibles. Who else was there? There was DC Trading, One Collectibles, Min-Max Games, and there was another vendor that I cannot remember the name of, honestly. But I hadn't seen them before. So I think they've been fairly new last year to events. But really great team, and obviously then you had some artists there. You had PCG there as well. Really, really great turnout. So the Hunted, what a set, honestly. I feel like we've spoken about this before, and I did say, and I've said this a few times now, that 2024 was going to be a great year for the game, and we had 3 absolute banger sets. Obviously, heavy hitters, Misfail and Rosetta, alongside all the Armory decks and the First Strike decks, which were absolutely fantastic. And now we've got the Hunted, which is going to be coming out next week. Pre-releases are this weekend. I'm probably going to do another pre-release, another sealed event as such. But I'm going to do a pre-release, I think, this Sunday. Timing permits. It depends if I'm free. But I'm looking to do that, which will be great. Another experience. I was running Syndra pretty much for the whole weekend. I was keen to get some gameplay and pilot Syndra a little bit. So thankfully, my sealed kind of gave me the opportunity to do that. Every sealed event I did, I pulled a Majestic for Syndra, which was great. And I just, it was very Draconic Ninja sort of heavy as such, which was great for me. Obviously, I played against Fang a lot, against Arachne a lot. Definitely an interesting meta, I suppose, in terms of like constructed and sealed there, because I think it's quite balanced. I had a lot of people, I struggled against Arachne. I think I did quite well against Syndra, Mirrors, and Fang. But Arachne I definitely struggled in. But then I spoke to Arachne players who were saying they were struggling against Fang or Syndra. So I think it seems quite level. Now, obviously, it's only within sealed. So it's a little bit difficult to gauge at the weekend. I'm sure people have been playtesting since. I'm going to be building Syndra myself as a Katsu main. It makes sense for me to play Ninja and, using the dual weapons and the whole marked system, which is be hunted or hunt, I think is quite cool. It definitely adds an element to the game, which is quite interesting. So I really enjoyed it. Honestly, I think it was a great experience. As a sealed format, I think it was a really, really good sealed format. I actually enjoy sealed more, mostly because I'm just really bad at the game. So it kind of levels the playing field out a little bit. And where a lot of the commons and rares, none of them got really leaked prior. The spoiler season was mostly the high rarities, bar a couple of cards that, we will talk about later in the video. So it was quite interesting. It felt like a bit of a level playing field. Like people were experiencing the cards the same time as I was, which was great. I mean, the last time I played was July, which was, I did a couple of armories, and before that it was Misfail release, and I was running Zen. So yeah, I think it's a good experience. I'm looking forward to seeing how the game develops and kind of how the meta sits with after the hunted. Now, obviously, the legendaries, there's a lot of good strong legendaries in there. There's a lot of good strong majestics. I think you've got the generics, which are really strong. But obviously, CNC reprint, which I think we knew that a CNC reprint was going to come at some point. I assumed it would be the same art, but like the original art, but like just a non-foil reprint. But I was surprised to get a different artwork. So there'll be a picture up here of the new Command & Conquer. There's a non-foil and there's an extended rainbow foil. And I tell you what, the artwork goes hard. Like, it goes hard. Like, I think it's a really good artwork. A lot of people don't like it. I think, I'll talk about the artwork first. I think the artwork's really nice. Now, do I agree with the rainbow foil extended art? I'm not so sure, just because we obviously have a rainbow foil, and the rainbow foil policy, it basically means you can't reprint that card in that art in a rainbow foil again. Now, obviously, they've done another artwork. So does it devalue? Now, it doesn't devalue the first edition, I don't really think. It doesn't devalue the Marvel Fable, because that's still extremely rare. But does it devalue Unlimited Rainbow Foil? Maybe a little bit. Now, the other side of that is, I guess, it's supposedly 1 in 10 cases for the extended rainbow, which means the chances of actually having a playset is very slim. Even the non-foil, apparently, it's like 1 in 4 cases. But I think that's probably the pull rate, roughly, of trying to get any given legendary. So I don't know if the pull rates are different for this compared to like a normal legendary, or if it's just, that's the pull rate. So we'll see. But there's quite a few copies, I think, pulled over the weekend. Now, again, the price is around $100 for that. Getting a playset's going to be $300. Does it really solve an issue? I guess, does it solve it, really? Like, realistically, does it mean that players can get more? I guess there's another way too, and it does mean that now that the Hunted in itself is going to be a good chaseable set, because people want CNCs again. Arc Unlimited is quite hard to find. I know in America it was easier to find, like in terms of like where in the world it was easiest to find in America, like Canada, because of Hobbiesville. But, you're looking at over sort of 130 for a box now. So it's quite hard to find a box. Now, one of my friends, Matt, aka Madagon, shout out to you. Somebody I spent the weekend with. Fantastic guy. He actually pulled a Rainbow Foil Unlimited from Arc, from 6 packs, which was fantastic. Really, really rare card. Very rare card, actually. Rainbow Majestics are undervalued, I think, for the first 3 sets, but it kind of makes sense, given that, not all of the Majestics are playable. So I don't know if it 100% solves it, but I don't really have a massive issue with it, honestly. I thought they were going to put a direct non-foil reprint in the Guardian Mastery Pack that we're going to get in late in this year. I still think they're going to reprint E-Strike. Now, it is a Guardian set, but also generics, which gives them the opportunity to be able to reprint these cards. So I think the issue is we obviously had History Pack, and History Pack's distribution just sounded a bit weird. It never felt like there was quite enough of the product, and not many people were opening it. But there's a load of playables in it, and I've cracked open and got CNCs myself. It's got some valuable cards in there. Obviously, it's got E-Strikes, it's got CNCs, it's got a lot of the Majestics. Obviously, it's the first 3 sets, legendaries as well. So if you want to pull a Tunic or a Mask, because Mask Momentum's gone up now, €90 or $90 or whatever for a white border mask. But then the black border rainbow foil is only like $20 more. So, that might change. I think it should change, definitely. But white border was so, it was lack of, opening experience or printing. I'm not really 100% sure. But it meant that, the prices between white border and black border are pretty much the same. And sometimes white border are more expensive just because there's less copies. But this Guardian Mastery Pack gives the opportunity now to reprint any generic. So they could reprint Warmongers. They could reprint Codex of Frailty, which non-foil is €90. So you've got cards like Codex, E-Strike, CNC, and Warmongers that are all very powerful Majestics, all very powerful generics, and they're, expensive. $270 for a playset of Codex of Frailty is mad. But Outsiders was probably the least printed out of all those. Now, most people aren't cracking Dust Till Dawn or, for Warmongers, or Outsiders for Codex, or Arc, or WTR. So a lot of those sets, this is the reason why the generics are so expensive. Obviously, Erased Face is now starting to go up from Uprising. I think Uprising is still fairly easy to find in the US. But, Erased Face, again, a generic. It was set out to be the alternative to CNC. And that was, it went up a little bit, and then it dropped. And now it's starting to climb again. And there was a good point that Transient made, actually, where it's a utility-based card game, and it is a player-driven market. There's a odd gap between like $20 and $30, $40. So you've got a lot of cards that are below $20, and you've got a lot of cards that are above $40. But that $20 to $40 range. Now, if a card's in that range, it's usually because the card is on the up, or the card is coming back down. And there's generally never really cards that sit in that, and I'm talking about like Majestics, where that is just their true value. As I said, it's often because a card is climbing, Erased Face is now going above $20, or you've got cards that are dropping down from, the bracket of 40 plus downwards. That could be new releases, or that could just be, a card's banned or not playable. You look at Art of War, that obviously crashed down to like 5. So, it is a utility-based card game. There is an emphasis a lot on the Majestic slot. I think it needs to be addressed and looked at, maybe. There are far too many Majestics in the set, and where you only get like 6 to 8 Majestics per box, and you've got 40 Majestics, trying to get a playset of any given Majestic is extremely hard. And then you've got the expansion slot, and you generally get 1 to 2 Majestics in the expansion slot per box. So, again, makes it really hard. And you've got a lot of these cards that there's not many copies on the market, and they're quite rare, but they're not playable as such in this meta, so they're not really in demand. But when they do become meta relevant, you see these cards spike massively, and you see these cards move up massively. So you've got the the Shelter card, the generic that's been selling at €80 each at the event. The extended art, got the Rainbow Four and extended art, and the extended art was selling for like over 100 each, which is mad. Big up the Pikachu, Pichu, and Raichu mug. So it's quite a mad card, and then you've got the Dual Threat. I've got some here. These are some of the cards that I've got left over. The Dual Threat card as well, which I'll put up here, is a generic. If you've attacked with a weapon this turn, the next attack action you play this turn gets +3. If you've attacked with an attack action card this turn, your next weapon gets +3. It's a 0 cost. It's a yellow. It's a 0 cost. It's also got 3 block as well. It just seems, again, another generic that just seems, I don't know if it's going to be quite mad. I think it's going to be like 20 to 30, but it just seems so good. And obviously, I kept pulling the Kabuto. Again, another picture going to be here. which is the warrior head. But generally, my pulls were okay. I didn't pull anything mad. No marbles or anything like that, so nothing stupid. But generally, quite a lot of the marbles were pulled around me, which was great to see. Cold foil legendaries seemed really hard to pull. The marbles were coming out battered out the packs. Now, I don't know if that is... Obviously, people are like, oh, yeah, but it's paid packs. It's like, well, that hasn't necessarily happened all the time with the other sets. So I don't know if that's just purely based on this set. Like, I had a lot of cards that were upside down as well. So the Majestics or the Rares were all upside down in the packs, which was strange. There'll be a video, maybe added to the end of this, where it was one of my sealed events, where I just cracked, obviously, the 8 packs, and the cards were upside down. But... I think it was, it's interesting. There's some really good cards in this set. I mean, the marbles themselves look really nice. Yeah, I'm excited. And I'm looking forward to doing another event, seeing how the meta looks out, and kind of how the prices of these cards. So in terms of, like, the event itself, obviously, we've got Pro Tour London, which is the next event that I'm going to be at, which I'm really excited for. It's a bigger event, but we had, 900 plus players in the call-in and over 1,100 players at this event, which was huge. And I think it being in Prague made it extremely accessible for most people in mainland Europe. So you had a lot of people coming over from Germany, from France, from Spain, from Holland, from Poland, where it's quite an easy trip to Prague. It's extremely cheap. Hotels are cheap, travel's cheap, food and drink is cheap. Which made the event, extremely accessible, which is great. Obviously, I know someone that came over from Brazil as well. This is going to be their first, this is their one event this year, and they chose this one. And I'd have to say, if you chose this event to be your one of the year, fair play, because it was a very good event. As I said, one of the best events I've done. I do a lot of card shows. I do a lot of Pokemon events. I do One Piece stuff. I do all different card games, and it really was absolutely an amazing experience. Now, moving forward in terms of the game, obviously I spoke about the address that we need to do with like Majestics and stuff. Now, I had a conversation with quite a few people. Obviously, I was vendoring, so we had a lot of high-end stuff in there. We had, a lot of marbles, we had a lot of promos, but we had a lot of alpha stuff. We had 9.5 tunics, cold full hearts and shards. A lot of really good stuff. Now, a lot of that isn't really alluring to most players, just because a lot of the newer players came in from Misfell or Heavy Hitters or Rosetta, and they don't really know the alpha stuff. Now, they're looking at cards and they're going to see like a Marvel Zen or a Marvel Enigma, the New Moon or whatever, and they're absolutely beautiful, stunning cards. Now, they're going to chase those because they're pretty. If they want to collect something, they're going to want to chase those. They don't care about an Iron Rot Helm from Alpha. Like, it's not a pretty card. Like, we did an Alpha draft on the Thursday, round Kubas. Like, shout out to the boys that were there. There was like 15 of us. Like, everyone was drinking. It was a good time. I did film that as well, so there'll be a video. But I pulled an Iron Rot Helm, cold foil. It's, like, for me, I appreciate the older stuff. It's what I got into when I first came in. As a collector as well, it's, something that I enjoy. But I honestly know, looking at that compared to, like, a Marvel, which I don't have at hand here, you're going to want to go for the Marvel, right? Because it's prettier. So it makes sense. So a lot of these prices, a lot of these cards have come down now. Whack first, WTR, Arcane Rise, and Crucible of War. A lot of that has come down, which is great. And a lot of people have been... selling their positions. Now, I think on the surface level, I think a lot of players generally don't notice that a lot of this. There might be talk here and there, people talking about it, but generally, for the most part, it doesn't really affect players. And it's not really something they think about. But obviously, a lot of people got into the game early and invested, obviously cracked a lot of product, which got a lot of the singles on the market to start the game with, which normally you probably wouldn't have got to the market, let's be honest here. And a lot of these cards are coming down now. A lot of these players, figures, people have left the game. A lot of them are consolidate. A lot of them are kind of drawn back a little bit. They're not maybe putting as much money in and stuff, which is fine. Obviously, it can alarm some people, maybe that, it feels like the game isn't healthy, but I think it levels the playing field a little bit. It enables new collectors to pick up some bits that maybe they wanted to get that were a little bit out of reach or quite hard to find before. I've seen so many alpha, Arcane Rising crew first edition boxes, all the cold foils and stuff like that, alpha tunics come up, where a lot of it was locked up in collections, and a lot of people were very focused on collecting a percentage of the, what's out there, of the circulation, essentially. People are quite, excited about collecting like 5% of the print run or whatever, which is fine, but obviously, when you're locking these cards behind one person and it's like a big percentage, it becomes a bit of an issue. So I think the game in itself is in a really good state, and I probably think it's a good thing. As I said, a lot of these collectors, I've been in the game over 4 years now. So, I wouldn't call myself a new collector. I came in the third set, but I have been doing my Crucible of War first edition set now, which has been really great. It's my favourite set. It's the set that I got into when it came out. So I did, this weekend, pick up a couple of bits. So I picked up 9.5 Courage of Bladehold Cold Foil. Very nice, really pretty card. I bought an EA Twinning Blade. Again, this was the first Alt Art extended card in the set we ever got. Really, really stunning card. Actually, this doesn't do it justice in this awful sleeve. I'm actually going to crack it out of the Beckett case. But it's a 9.5. Really, really pretty card. Absolutely stunning card that I wanted to own for a long time. And I also pulled... I keep saying pulled. I am tired. I'm sorry, guys. It was a long weekend. A Cold Foil Alpha. Crucible of War, first edition, Art Knight Shard Fable. Which I'm going to send... I'm going to crack these two. And then I've got a Visiratronic model, Cold Foil, a Tunic non-foil, but from Crew First. And then I'm going to crack this as well, because it's the old label. And that's all going to be sent with some other bits to PCG UK, which will be great. Really excited again to do another submission with them, because they really are great. But, it enables people to pick up pieces that they couldn't before. Or they didn't have the funds or the resources or the know-how to get. And now I think the market has leveled out a bit. Now, do I think that stuff is not going to move down again still? I think some stuff will probably come down. But for me, it was a case of just being like, look, I want these cards. I wanted them for a long time. I'm happy with the price point that they're at now. If they go down, it doesn't matter to me, because I just want the cards myself. So fair play. If they go down, great. Someone else gets the opportunity to get one. Now, there was a raw copy of the Twinning Blade at the store, and that did actually sell as well. What sold at the stall? A lot of promos. I saw a lot of promos, people trying to pick up like the extended art stuff, the cold foil promos, ones from different events and stuff they might not be able to get. A lot of people wanted to upgrade Rainbow Foil Legendaries to Cold Foil Legendaries. And a lot of people wanted to pick up, generally a lot of staples that they just hadn't had the opportunity to do so. Flick Knives, we sold like 20 copies. Flick Knives just flew out. Outsiders, Assassin stuff just flew out. But a lot of Legendaries sold, like, across all the sets. A lot of the staple Majestics, again. It was a really good weekend for Tyler and, all of us that were selling. A lot of people were buying, picking up bits they wanted. I did a lot of personal sales as well. People that wanted to upgrade to a lot of the Rainbow Foil Majestics as well, rather than non-foil, which is great. It's what these events are for. You get to see the cards in person. You don't have to worry about postage and stuff. People can, mule stuff around from different events and different parts of the world, which is, absolutely fantastic. So really positive from me. I think I had a really good time this weekend. I'll go into my thoughts a little bit more on like the collector side of the things in another video. But I just wanted to do a bit of a recap from Prague, and I just want to shout out all the people that came up to me as well and said, I had a lot of people come up to me and say, I watched your videos, appreciate it, I like your content. It does mean a lot when you do. I have it at other events, and it at first it feels a little bit awkward from my side, because some people come up and go, oh, I know you from somewhere. And I don't want to be like, oh, you know me from YouTube, because it just feels a bit like I'm tooting my own horn. But chances are they probably have. It's definitely not from being good at playing Fab. It 100% isn't that. So it most likely usually is. And it was, obviously. So I want to say thank you for people that reached out, because that it is really nice to get recognition. Obviously, you can see the views, and sometimes it's hard to gauge, because you don't know kind of where they're coming from. But when you meet people at events and you see people in person, face to face, and they come up to you and say, "Oh, I've seen you before. Like, I like your videos and stuff." It really does mean a lot. So thank you for those that did it. You know who you are. And shout out to the guy that bought me a bottle of water, the vending machine in my hotel. I'm sorry I've forgotten your name. It was a long weekend. I couldn't figure out the vending machine. In fact, we had difficulties ourselves doing it. Turns out we were just being silly and there was a process to it. But shout out for getting me a bottle of water. I appreciate it. But yeah, it was a great weekend. Great time to meet up with friends, have a few beers, engage over the game that we love in person. And that's what this is all about, really, isn't it? It's about, play the game, see the world. And that's exactly what I've been doing. And I will be continuing to do this. And this is going to be, a mainstay. I'll be doing a lot more vlogs on the channel at card events and shows. And, yeah. So I'm very blessed and thankful for the opportunity that I get to do so. And thank you all for watching. As always, please hit the notification button to see my future videos. Comment, like, subscribe as always. And if you want to become a YouTube member, you get 5% off the store. You get exclusive content, early content. And it does help support the channel. And it helps me able to do a lot of these events and stuff. And as always, have a great day.
Yo, what's up? Transient TCG here. Just recovering from being sick over the holidays, man. So 2024 Flesh and Blood favorite moments. I probably have to say all the events. So I was able to hit all of the large events, Pro Tour Amsterdam, Pro Tour LA, and World Osaka. That would have to be the highlight of my year. All the people I've met and all the cards traded and deals done. Definitely, over those events definitely was a highlight. And oh yeah, picking up some grails, pretty cool too.
Hi, hello, Happy New Year. I was going to ask you to tell you which is my best moment in Flesh and Blood moment in this 2024, and here we are. The best moment, I think, is it was when Jarl or Mango has been released, because I've been waiting for this moment for so long, because it was the first character I painted for Flesh and Blood back in the years, and so I was so excited waiting for this moment, and that's all. I wish you a great and amazing 2025, you all, and bye.
First pack. Can I have
Put it down here.
Can I show it?
Show it on the camera.
Can I show it on the camera? Look at that. They're so nice. They're so nice. All of them are just.
We have error packs here.
I can show you the other side.
Oh
too.
yeah.
Upside down cards in the packs.
Yeah, every card is a marvel. Look at that. That's stunning.
And I think it's a good quality.
Yeah.
Looking pretty good, right?
That looks, compared to what I've seen the whole weekend.
Like it's blue and looks pretty.
That's good. That's very good.
Where's the marble? Whoa.
Damn.
Oh, here! I got one too!
Oh look, I got upside down pack cards as well. What the heck?
That's weird. What's going on, guys?
Damn. Instead of upside down, can I get like...
And now another marble.
See, that's a problem. People get greedy. But this, yeah, and nice.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
First one I even see.
Is that defense reaction? Yeah.
That comes in the A as well. That's
Yeah.
Very, very costly, I feel.
Oh, double majestic.
Nice.
The only card that wasn't upside down.
get the signs.
Triple rare pack.
At least some.
Oh, cold foil. That's just common.
This is some X-Men.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. A very good card, honestly. But it's shiny. It could be worse.
Triple rare pack again. Fresh.
Nice.
Might evaporate.
This is really. These cards that are the wrong way, they're really triggering me. Every time I'm thinking, what is it? Even with the 7 back, I was like, what? Oh, okay, yes.
That's the feel of the slide.